Is Modern Warfare 2 2022 better than Modern Warfare 2019? I'm going to be honest, this answer is incredibly easy for me, but I've been seeing a lot of debate over this on Twitter, on YouTube comments, and it seems like a lot of people, especially those who really loved Modern Warfare 2019, are very disappointed with this game and think Modern Warfare 2019 is way better and that this is a step down. Of course, the game hasn't even been out for a full day yet, so I'm kind of comparing it rather early, but I think it'd be fun to just kind of talk about what I like about it, what I think it improved over 2019, then also talking about what I think Modern Warfare 2019 did better. For starters, Modern Warfare 2 certainly has better colors than Modern Warfare 2019. Modern Warfare 2019 was known for being very gray and green and brown, and the colors didn't really pop. The contrast was really low, and it just made for a very unpleasant visual experience. I never felt like any of the maps looked really gorgeous or beautiful. They all just kind of felt grungy, I guess is the best word for it. So I really do love how Modern Warfare 2's maps are way more vibrant. Even the colors on the maps that aren't meant to be normally vibrant maps, like the desert map or like the maps that are just set in locations that usually aren't that colorful, they still do have vibrant colors that pop because they actually did that for this game when they were designing it. They actually thought about the color scheme and made it kind of enjoyable to look at. So I definitely prefer that over Modern Warfare 2019. There's definitely a debate to say that the graphics are better in one or the other. I'm not really sure which one technically has better graphics. I don't really care too much about the graphics in a Call of Duty game. I care way more about how pleasing the visuals are to look at, and the graphics being more realistic is not automatically going to make it better to look at, in my opinion. I much prefer more vibrant colors, and Modern Warfare 2 definitely has that over Modern Warfare 2019. The maps are also way better on average in Modern Warfare 2 compared to Modern Warfare 2019. MWII 2019 did not have many good maps, in my opinion. I only really enjoyed Gunrunner, Hackney Yard, and a couple others, maybe like one or two others on launch. And then when you look at the DLC, we're not going to talk too much about DLC because obviously it's not fair to compare a game full of DLC compared to this game which literally just released. But even the DLC, there wasn't that many maps I enjoyed other than a lot of the remakes. But this game so far has a lot of solid maps. We have Raceway, Fortress, Mercado, Farm 18, Hotel, and Hydroelectric, which all 6 of those maps I think are at least good maps. Some of them are even really great. The other 4 maps in the game currently I'm not crazy about, but I don't think they're terrible. Whereas in Modern Warfare 2019, you did have some terrible maps like Piccadilly and Euphrates Bridge. So that was definitely a big issue in that game. I think this game definitely is a step up in terms of the map design. The maps are definitely designed to make the game faster paced, which kind of goes into my next point. This game is way faster paced than Modern Warfare 2019. Modern Warfare 2019 was known for the camping, right? It was known for really slow gameplay, and I still think this game has that issue in some matches. There are definitely matches where I feel like people are camping way too much, and I think a big part of that is attributed to the time to kill and the ADS speeds and the sprint to fire speeds. Those do feel like they need to be changed, but that was the same in Modern Warfare 2019, so it's not like that game did it any better. But I definitely feel like it is at least a little bit faster paced, and I do think a big reason for that is, of course, the map design. The map design definitely makes the gameplay flow way better. Not even just faster paced, but it just flows better. Of course, those few maps that I don't like in the game, I don't think flow very well, but these 6 maps that I mentioned are all really solid, and every time I played them, you were able to get at least 40 to 50 kills relatively easily if you're a decent player, which is not something that can be said for most Modern Warfare 2019 maps, where even the best player out there is not going to be able to even come across more than 25 people on a single game of Piccadilly. I mean, you could play Piccadilly and not find someone for like a solid 2 minutes sometimes because of how wide the map is, how big it is, and how complex the layout is, to the point where there's really no predicting the spawns or any of that. So yeah, definitely prefer the Modern Warfare 2 maps over Modern Warfare 2019. I think one of the easiest things I can say is the camo system is 1,000 times better than Modern Warfare 2019. Just looking at the camo challenges, we're not going to have to deal with long shots or mounted kills or any of that garbage from Modern Warfare 2019. And the camos look way better too, like miles better. I could definitely find a lot more things that I like about this game over Modern Warfare 2019, but the last thing I want to talk about is the addition of score streaks Thank the Lord they finally gave us score streaks back. I still don't love their implementation. I do think we should have streaks that can wrap. I would like to be able to earn the same streaks again in the same life, but unfortunately you can't do that in this game. So there's definitely a couple things that would change, but it's way better than not having score streaks at all as an option in Modern Warfare 2019 unless you use the Point Man perk, which was a really stupid thing because you have to take away your perk slot just to get something that should be in the game by default, especially because really good perks like Ghost were in that perk tier as well. So I never ran Point Man even though I really wanted to because I wanted to use score streaks. So thankfully this game has score streaks by default. That was definitely one of the best changes they made. Now for the things that Modern Warfare 2019 did better, I honestly can't really think of that many things. There was one thing I was able to think of, and even this is a bit of a stretch, but I really cannot think of a single other thing. I would say that the gunsmith was a little bit better in Modern Warfare 2019, and not by a lot. And like I said, the game just came out, so I haven't even tried out everything in the gunsmith yet. But so far, based on what I've seen in the gunsmith, I'm not a big fan of how the gunsmith is set up. There's a lot of attachments that make your gun way worse, and they're like worthless. There's some guns where like their entire barrel selection or their entire grip selection or something, like almost all of them make your gun worse, and I just don't like that. Some of them even do almost the exact same thing except for little changes, and I just don't think it's set up nicely, and I don't think there's as much customization with it as well. Whereas Modern Warfare 2019, I felt like you could do a lot of crazy things with your guns, and I think there was a bit more customization there. Of course, again, like I said, I have not tried everything out yet. There's definitely more to see, but I do think I prefer the Modern Warfare 2019 gunsmith ever so slightly. Just like I said, just by a little bit. But overall, Modern Warfare 2019 is definitely not better than Modern Warfare 2, in my opinion. Of course, only time will tell. We have to play the game more, and this is, of course, going to be very different depending on the person, because a lot of people really do love Modern Warfare 2019. A lot of people do, and if you really appreciated like a lot of specific things about that game and you don't think Modern Warfare 2 kind of held up to the standards of that game, then sure, you can have that opinion. That is very fair. But I just think this is a little bit closer to this type of game that I would prefer to play. It's still not on the same level as like a Treyarch Call of Duty, which I tend to prefer, but it's definitely closer to the Treyarch style than what Modern Warfare 2019 was. I felt like Modern Warfare 2019 was trying to go in a whole different direction for Call of Duty, which, like I said, a lot of people like that. But I thought it was going too far away from what COD is known as. To me, COD is an arcade shooter first and foremost. It's an arena shooter, arcade shooter, and it should stick like that. And I felt like that game was trying to be like a tactical shooter in a sense, and at the same time, it was still an arcade shooter. So it's like the tactical elements that they were trying to add didn't really fit well with the fact that the game at the end of the day was still an arcade shooter and still had arcade shooter game modes. I think those different mechanics they added worked pretty well within like Search and Destroy, for example, but I just don't think it implemented well in the other game modes. Now this game still has a lot of issues that Modern Warfare 2019 had. We still have the problem of the time to kill being way too fast. We still have the problem of the minimap not being like it was in the original Call of Duties and instead being this new minimap system where the red dots don't appear when people shoot guns. Again, don't like any of those things. There's a lot of changes I would personally make, but at least it's a step in the right direction. It's a step in the right direction closer to a better Call of Duty, again, in my opinion. So that is my final opinion on that. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. Do you prefer Modern Warfare 2019 or do you prefer the new Modern Warfare 2? Maybe you have to try it out for yourself, because I'm sure a lot of you haven't even played the game yet, because it literally, by the time I'm uploading this video, it probably hasn't even come out for you yet. So yeah, definitely play it for yourself first, decide how you feel, and come back to this video, let me know. I'm definitely going to be doing a ranking of every single Call of Duty game at some point, so definitely keep an eye out for that. I ranked every campaign recently, but I do intend on ranking every Call of Duty game as a whole, and it's going to be fun to see where this game ranks with the other CODs. So hopefully you all enjoyed. I will see you on my next one. Peace out.